What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And this was a video requested by one of my subscribers. You know who you are. Hopefully you do enjoy the video. Today we're going to be breaking down Axe versus Sven. Now this matchup is quite interesting. It is almost a 50-50 matchup. Axe is a little bit favored in this matchup, but not crazy. It's not a super big counter matchup, but you guys already know Axe is always going to be very good against these physical heroes who do a lot of burst damage if you're able to engage on them. And that is the key of this matchup. If you're able to blink, blade mail, and call the Sven, you will probably get the kill onto the hero. But if Sven has Aghanim Scepter and a Daedalus, maybe a Silver Edge and items like this, you are going to be in a world of pain. He can burst you so quickly just because of God Strength and how much armor the hero already has. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. And when it comes to the mid game, I think Sven hits a really strong power timing that the Axe can't really compete with. But when it comes to the late game, it's actually very different because they can both do a lot to each other. Again, it comes down to initiation, so play around your vision. If you're playing as the Sven, either get a Blink Dagger or get a Silver Edge or get an Aghanim Scepter for you to be able to close the gap. Also wait for the Axe to initiate, and then you should be the one to counter initiate. Be the one to come in second, because if you come in first, you might be in a lot of trouble. Especially against blade mail. Once you have a lot of items, you're going to end up killing yourself to the blade mail. That's what typically happens to all these characters who are very physical damage heavy, and they have a lot of burst damage and a lot of right click. They're just going to kill themselves to blade mail. It's a really big issue. Also, make sure you're farming a lot on the Sven. You're going to be farming a lot faster than the Axe will, but the Axe can start pressuring around the side lanes, and it's a lane that you actually win quite easily. Axe is very favored when it comes to the laning phase. Sven can't do a whole lot to Axe unless he has a really strong support, and typically pause 5s are very passive, so they're not going to do a whole lot to the Axe to be able to punish him. You can easily cut the creep waves and get a ton of farm, and so can the Sven. The Sven can easily free farm in this lane. You shouldn't let the Sven free farm. That's going to be very problematic for you if you start leaving him. But if you do have a passive support, then you don't really have much of a choice, as by yourself you don't pose a ton of kill threat, especially without Blink Dagger. Without any of these items, you don't pose a whole lot of kill threat. And once you have Vanguard, the Sven can't really do a whole lot to you, especially before he has Echo Saber, Mask of Madness. So let's start breaking down the item build if you are the Axe. So you should go for a Vanguard, get boots, and then go for blade mail, then blink. In this matchup especially, you should have blade mail first, and then you go for the blink dagger, just because you're going to be able to secure a lot more farm, and the Sven won't just be able to commit with you on God Strength. But if you just have blink, then he can definitely commit onto you and probably get the kill. So make sure you get blade mail first, also going to help you farm, so it is quite nice. And then you go back for the blink. And then this is a game where you need an Assault Cuirass, probably before BKB. It depends. If there's a lot of stuns in the enemy team or a lot of crowd control and such, then definitely get the BKB first. But if there isn't as many and you can play the game without getting a BKB first, get an Assault Cuirass. You're going to benefit quite heavily from it, and so will your team, and you're actually going to end up doing more damage to the Sven as well. So make sure if you can pick up the Assault Cuirass, the earlier the better against this matchup. It's going to be a lot more beneficial for you. And as the Sven, make sure you guys get a Silver Edge. It is super important for you guys to get a Silver Edge. You're going to be breaking the Axe. You're going to do a lot more damage to the hero, and you might be able to take him out quite quickly and get yourself an Aghanim Scepter. Aghanim Scepter is far better than Blink in this situation, just because you're able to do a lot more and you're able to initiate much better, and that Storm Hammer hits like a truck. And then after that, you might go for a Kai Assange on the Axe. You can definitely pick that item up. It's going to be nice. You can get a Manta as well, which is pretty decent on the Axe. There's a lot of items you could tend to go for, but your staples are there. Now for the Sven, you are going to be going Treads into Mask of Madness into Echo Saber, and then you're going to go for an Aghanim Scepter. You could go for a BKB or a Silver Edge. One of those three is definitely up to you. I would definitely get a Silver Edge and then get an Aghanim Scepter and then turn that into a Daedalus, because if you don't need the BKB, you can afford to be a lot greedier. And eventually, if you get items like Monkey King Bar or an Abyssal Blade, those items are definitely going to help you sway this matchup a little bit more. The problem is, if you end up getting caught out of position, the Axe is typically more likely to win, just because he can hold you down and you're doing a lot of damage to yourself with blade mail. But if your team is the one doing the hunting and you are just jumping in second after the Axe goes for an initiation, you're going to have a really easy time with the Axe. His cooldowns are going to be burned, and he won't have a really good way to escape. So definitely make sure you are prioritizing your positioning in this matchup, because that could definitely be the difference of you winning this matchup or actually losing it. You got to remember, Axe is an offlaner, Sven is the safe laner, so you're going to be dealing with Axe, and you're also going to be dealing with potentially another carry in a mid lane. laner. So play around your team. Don't play super greedy on the Sven. Don't play it like an anti-mage where you're playing super far away from your team and split pushing the side lanes, because the Axe will smoke with his teammates and definitely go for pickoffs onto you. You're going to have a lot of problems in this matchup. So definitely try and play around your team, or at least very close to towers, so you can get mass TPs and you're able to get out of really sticky situations. And on the Axe as well, a very off meta build per se that you guys can go for that is quite nice against Sven. Even though Sven is not an illusion hero, if you go for Radiance into Bloodstone, it's actually going to be quite nice. It's definitely off meta. It's something very situational, but it is a fun build to consider. If you guys have played this before, let me know in the comments. It's definitely a very fun build to play. Obviously, it's not a build you can go every single game, but whenever you are facing up against heroes that don't like evasion or heroes that have burst damage, once you pop your call and you start spinning with Bloodstone, and at the same time you got Radiance Burn running, there's very few targets in the game that are going to be able to survive that initiation. It also allows you to go for solo pickoffs, and it's just overall a very, very nice build. Obviously, it's not as reliable as your typical item builds, but situationally, I think it's definitely a very good option for you guys to go for. And if you want to try a really fun build, definitely go for it. And if you're lucky enough to get Vampire Fangs, that is even better. Just that spell lifesteal is always going to be very, very nice. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys learned something, leave a comment down below and let me know who's your favorite in this matchup. Is it Axe? Is it Sven? I'd definitely like to know. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.